Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Barnholtz, and this is my informative speech. So for my informative speech, I'm going to do why celiac is an autoimmune disease. So for the past couple of years, celiac has been a big trend in diets. You see it on the news, you see it on the internet, everything, like everyone says gluten is bad for you, which for some people it really is. But celiac was discovered a long time ago. In the 1st century, it was discovered by a physician named Aristus of Cappacilia. He first named the disease coleolis. So coleia is a Greek word for abdomen. His definition of this disease is if the stomach is sensitive to food and if it passes through the digestive system and includes the walls of the tract, we call that person celiacis. Okay, so in the 19th century, more research was done about celiac by a guy named Dr. Matthew Bailey. He was a guy that discovered gas-distended abdomen disease, so aka chronic diarrhea. He was doing research about people who had this disease, and all they ate was rice, so everything was rice-based, and in the sense of they cured the disease by the diet. Rice plays a big component in celiac disease because everything that is gluten-free is either made out of rice, made out of potatoes, made out of corn. But Bailey's research was stolen by this guy because no one was able to see that his research was very valuable. So Dr. Samuel Glee took credit for Bailey's work about 75 years later. Glee said that the only way a person with celiac disease can be cured is through diet. Glee did an experiment with a boy who he thought had celiac, and he gave him small amounts of English mussels every single day. And he did this for about 3 or 4 months, and he came back later and found out that his treatment was working. And it makes sense because mussels are protein and they don't have gluten in them. They shouldn't. Really, they shouldn't. Okay, so fast forward to 1920. A new diet came out, and it was called the banana diet / theory method. Sidney Haas discovered this treatment, and it was a successful treatment with 8 kids who had celiac. The children that he did this research on were very anorexic. They couldn't keep anything down. Anything they ate just went completely through them. So instead of giving them bread or more grains, he cut bread, crackers, potatoes, and cereals. So pretty much any grain, no go. And he found that the treatment was working. Again, cutting grain out was working. So this was able to show that it's not just the stomach. So in 1960, celiac disease can be diagnosed by going into the intestines and doing a biopsy of the villi. because the gluten protein in grains kills the villi. It lays them down and it kills them. So being able to go and biopsy it can tell docs, hey, this person has celiacs. But the problem is in 1960, our medical technology was not the best. So it would leave lesions that would sometimes cause more harm than good. So the first thing that docs had you do, even in 1960, cut wheat, cut grain, cut gluten, everything. Cut it out of your diet. So in 1964, this doc named Berger said, well, maybe we should test the blood to see if it works, or to see if gluten causes anything in your blood, and it actually did. So further research showed that the children with celiac disease showed antibodies in their blood. Further research showed that children with celiac disease showed antibodies in their blood from ingestion of gluten. Gluten caused an autoimmune reaction, so the body was fighting it like a virus. That is why celiacs and a correlation with an autoimmune disease like type 1 diabetes happens. Okay, so in 1999, it was a universal acceptance that celiacs